You know, the most incredible stories, they're often not found in just one place. Nope. They're usually pieced together from all these different fragments. Old government reports, family wills, maybe a few fading photographs. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to connect the dots between these scattered documents and uncover this amazing multi-generational legacy right in the heart of Alberta.
And really, at its heart, this is a story about people. It's about parents and their kids, brothers and sisters, and all those ties that bind a family together across the decades.
But it's also so much bigger than just one family. It's about that grit, that spirit of the pioneers who first settled the Canadian prairies, the ones who built the communities we know today, places like Kelmar and Leduc.
So what's the one thing that connects all of this? The family, the land, the past, and the present? Well, the answer is a single, totally essential element that shaped not only their lives, but their livelihood: water.
Okay, let's start with this glimpse from a family memoir. It just paints such a vivid picture of how tough pioneer life really was. The quote says it all. Snowdrifts were as high as fence posts. I mean, can you even imagine that? There's no doctor for 20 miles. The closest hospital is 40 miles away. This wasn't just a hard life. It was a life that demanded some serious resilience and, maybe most importantly, a deep reliance on your neighbors.
All right, to really get the full picture, we've got to jump at our time machine and go way, way back. Genealogy records actually trace this family's origins all the way across the ocean to County Tyrone, Ireland, with Isabella Parkhill, born way back in 1803. That's over 200 years ago. Eventually, those deep roots made their way to the soil of Alberta.
And the guy who's going to help us tie all these threads together, that's George Burgess. He's really our central character here. By following his life through all these different documents, we can start to piece together the amazing legacy that he built. Now, we don't have his diary or anything, but we can kind of piece together who this guy was from all these little clues. For example, we know he was a great brother. There's a family story about him buying his sisters a Volkswagen Bug just so they could drive to Edmonton for university. His dad, William's obituary from 1973, lists him as a loving son living in Kelmar. And then his own will, it shows him as a dad, appointing his kids William and Donna to handle his affairs. So what we see here is a picture of a really dedicated family man, totally rooted in his community.
Okay, so we've got a sense of the man. Now let's pull back and look at the bigger picture, how his family story really fits into this larger story of pioneer life out in Alberta.
This right here, this really gets to the heart of what it took to survive on the prairie. It wasn't just about being strong yourself. It was all about the community. The family memoir talks about a world where you'd sharpen your neighbors' plowshares, because if they succeeded, you succeeded. It was that simple. Quilting bees weren't just a hobby. They were a community project, a way to help out families who were in need.
Their whole lives really revolved around two things: the seasons and each other. Those long winter nights were spent doing practical things like making quilts. The memoir notes that threshing time was always a busy time. But they found joy, too. Simple things, like taking a few days in the summer to go tenting at Pigeon Lake. And their faith was a big part of their lives, being active members of the United Church and Sunday school.
And this is so cool. It's like a perfect then and now. On the left, you have this historical value of community, of enterprise. And on the right, a tagline from a modern family business: we're your neighbors. That exact same spirit, that reliance on each other, it's still a core value generations and generations later. So, okay, we've established the Burgess family were these hardcore community-focused pioneers. But there's another piece of the puzzle here, and it's hidden in the last place you'd expect to find a good story: a dry, old government document. And here it is, a report from 1966 called Water Well Records, Southern Alberta. Yeah, I know, not exactly a page-turner, right? But believe it or not, inside this boring-looking report is the key that unlocks the entire professional legacy of the Burgess family. And that leads us to the big question, the one that kind of changes everything. Why in the world would this family's name show up in a geological survey about water wells? And boom, here's the answer. Page 10 of the report lists all the licensed water well drilling contractors in Alberta as of the end of 1964. So you scroll down the list of names, and there he is. Burgess, G, Box 118, Kalmar. This is our George Burgess. This single line in an old report confirms his job and basically sets the stage for everything that comes next. So that one little entry, it's the missing link. It lets us follow this family's story with water right up to today, into the 21st century.
And look at how clear this line is. Back in 1964, you have G. Burgess, a licensed water well driller in Kalmar. Fast forward to today, and you have Wellhead Water Services, a family-run business that proudly serves that exact same area. Kalmar, Leduc, and all of central Alberta.
So this modern company, Wellhead Water Services, it's basically carrying that torch. It's a family operation with deep, deep expertise in everything from well repairs to installing pumps. And get this, look where they work. Leduc, Kalmar, and Pigeon Lake. Sound familiar? It's the very same place the family used to go for their summer holidays generations ago.
Okay, this is where it all comes together. Those old-school pioneer values, they're not just some quaint historical fact. They are literally the company's business model today. That old value of community support, now it's expressed through donations to foundations that provide clean water to people who need it. That pioneer ethos of just doing honest work, it's right there in their promise of no hidden fees. And that idea of being neighbors, it's their actual company motto.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? This line from their website, it's not just some catchy slogan. It's a straight-up echo from that old family memoir where helping your neighbor wasn't just a nice thing to do. It was a way of life.
So, what this whole story of the Burgess family really shows us is that history isn't just something dusty in a textbook. It's alive, it's all around us, hidden in old documents, carried on by local businesses, and rooted in the land itself. And that kind of makes you think, right? What stories are hiding in plain sight, right in your own backyard?